She had nothing. No shop, no money, no connections. Just two hands and one dream. This is the story of what she built with them and what it cost her to get there. There was a young woman named Rosa. She was 22 years old. She lived in a small town by the sea. The town was quiet and beautiful, but it was also very poor. Most people in the town were fishermen. They woke up before the sun every morning. They went out on the water in small boats. They worked all day in the cold and the wind, and they came home tired every evening. Rosa's father was a fisherman. His name was Paolo. He had strong hands and a quiet voice. He loved Rosa very much. Rosa's mother had died when Rosa was 8 years old. Rosa did not remember much about her, but she remembered the smell of bread baking, and she remembered warm hands on her face. Rosa and her father lived simply. They had a small house near the water. They had enough food, they had each other. And for a long time, that was enough. But Rosa had a dream. Rosa wanted to open a flower shop. She had loved flowers since she was a little girl. She grew them in pots outside the house. Red ones, yellow ones, white ones. On sunny days, people walking past would stop and stare. "Your flowers are beautiful," they would say. Rosa always smiled and said thank you. But inside she thought, "One day I will do more than grow them. One day I will share them with the whole world." One evening, Rosa sat with her father on the steps outside their house. The sun was going down over the water. The sky was pink and orange and gold. Rosa said, "Papa, I want to open a flower shop." Her father looked at her. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Rosa, that is a beautiful dream. But dreams are not free. They cost something. They cost time and effort and sacrifice. Are you ready to pay that price?" Rosa looked at the sea. She thought for a moment. Then she said, "Yes, Papa, I am ready." Her father nodded slowly. "Then start tomorrow," he said. And so Rosa started. The next morning, she woke up early. Before her father left for the water, she made a list of everything she needed: seeds, pots, a small space to sell from, money. She looked at the list for a long time. She had almost none of these things, but she had two hands and one dream. And she decided that was enough to begin. Rosa asked around the town for work. She cleaned houses in the morning. She helped at the market in the afternoon. She carried bags and swept floors and washed windows. The work was not glamorous. Some days her hands hurt. Some days her feet were sore. Some days she was so tired she fell asleep before dinner. But every week she saved a little money. She kept it in a small tin box under her bed. She counted it every Sunday evening. Each time the number went up, she felt something warm inside. Not happiness exactly, something quieter than happiness, something stronger. After 3 months, Rosa had enough to buy seeds and soil and pots. She transformed the small yard behind her house. She dug the earth with her hands. She planted carefully and watered every morning. She learned which flowers needed sun and which needed shade. She read old books about plants from the library. She asked the oldest woman in the town, who was known for her garden. Her name was Mrs. Elsa. Mrs. Elsa was 80 years old. She had white hair and brown eyes, and she smelled like roses. When Rosa knocked on her door and asked if she could learn from her, Mrs. Elsa smiled. She said, "I have been waiting for someone to ask. Come in." Rosa went to Mrs. Elsa every Saturday morning. Mrs. Elsa taught her everything: how to prune, how to feed, how to encourage a plant that was struggling, how to know when something was ready, and how to let go of something that would not grow. Rosa listened to everything. She wrote it all in her notebook. She practiced during the week, and slowly her yard became something extraordinary. Colors everywhere, smells that made people stop in the street. One afternoon, a woman knocked on Rosa's gate. Her name was Maria. Maria was getting married in 2 weeks. She had heard about Rosa's flowers. She said, "I need flowers for my wedding. Can you help me?" Rosa stared at her. Her heart was beating fast. She had never sold flowers before. She had never made arrangements for anyone. She did not have a shop. She did not have a table or a sign or anything professional. She had a yard and a notebook and 2 hands. She said, "Yes, I can help you." Rosa worked harder than she had ever worked in those 2 weeks. She cut and arranged and rearranged. She visited Mrs Elsa 3 times. She practiced in the evenings after her other jobs. Her father would sit nearby and watch her. Sometimes he said nothing. He just watched with quiet eyes and a small smile. On the morning of the wedding, Rosa delivered the flowers. 12 arrangements, each one different, each one full of color and care. Maria looked at them and put her hand over her mouth. "They are perfect," she said. "They are exactly what I imagined." "How did you know?" Rosa said, "Because you told me what you loved. I just listened." Maria paid Rosa well, more than Rosa had expected. Rosa stood outside the church after the delivery. The sea wind moved her hair. She held the money in her hand. She thought about the tin box under her bed. She thought about the seeds in the soil and the early mornings. She thought about her father's words. Dreams are not free. She was beginning to understand exactly what he meant. Word spread quickly in a small town. Rosa made the wedding flowers. They were beautiful. You should see her garden. More people came to Rosa. A man who wanted flowers for his mother's birthday. A restaurant owner who wanted fresh arrangements every week. A school that needed decorations for their end-of-year celebration. Rosa said yes to all of them. She worked morning and evening. She saved everything she could. She kept the tin box, but it was getting full now. One day, Rosa walked along the main street of the town. She passed a small, empty shop. It had a wooden door and a big window. Inside it was dusty and dark. But Rosa stood and looked at that window for a long time. She saw something nobody else could see. She saw flowers in that window. She saw colors and light and people stopping outside to look. She asked about the shop. The owner wanted a small monthly rent. Rosa went home and counted her tin box. It was almost enough. Almost. She needed 2 more months. So she worked 2 more months. She cleaned more houses. She took on more orders. She slept less. She ate simply. She did not complain. She just worked. And at the end of 2 months, she went back to the owner of the shop. She put the money on the table. She said, "I would like to rent this space, please." The man looked at the money. Then he looked at Rosa. He said, "How old are you?" Rosa said, 22. The man was quiet for a moment. Then he slid a key across the table. He said, "Take care of it." Rosa held the key. It was small and cold and heavy. She had never held anything that felt so important. Rosa opened her shop on a bright Tuesday morning. She had painted the door herself, deep green. She had written the name above the window in careful letters. Rosa's Flowers. Simple, true, hers. Her father came on the first morning. He stood outside and looked at the window. Rosa had filled it with color. Sunflowers and roses and small white blooms she had grown herself. Her father stood very still for a long time. Then he turned to her. His eyes were wet. He said, "Your mother would have loved this." The shop was a success, not overnight, not by magic, by the same thing that had built it: hard work, listening, showing up every single day. Rosa opened before sunrise and closed after dark. She learned her customers by name. She remembered what flowers they liked. She remembered anniversaries and birthdays. She made people feel seen, and people came back. They always came back. Mrs. Elsa came on the third day. She walked slowly with her cane. She stood in the doorway and looked around. Rosa waited. Mrs. Elsa said nothing for a long moment. Then she said, "This is a good place, Rosa. You built it with your hands and your heart. That is the only way to build anything that lasts." She bought a small bunch of yellow flowers. She paid for them and walked back out into the sun. Rosa watched her go. Then she turned back to her shop. Her shop. She smiled. A year passed, then two. Rosa's flowers became part of the town. People came from other towns to buy from her. She hired one helper, then two. She taught them the same way Mrs. Elsa had taught her. With patience and with care, she never forgot what it felt like to start with nothing. So she was never too busy for a young person who came in with questions. She always made time. She always said, "Sit down and let me show you." One afternoon, a young girl knocked on the shop door. She was maybe 10 years old. She had a small pot with a sickly-looking plant inside. She said, "Excuse me, I am trying to grow flowers, but my plant keeps dying. Can you help me?" Rosa looked at the girl. She looked at the pot. She thought of herself at 10 years old growing flowers in the yard, talking to them, worrying over them, loving them. She said, "Come inside." They spent an hour together. Rosa showed her about soil and water and light. She gave her a small bag of seeds. She said, "Come back and show me how they grow." The girl looked up at her. Her eyes were wide. She said, "How did you learn all this?" Rosa smiled. She said, "From someone who was generous enough to teach me, and from a lot of early mornings and dirty hands." She paused. She said, "Nothing in this life is free, but the price of something you love is never too high." The girl nodded slowly, like she was storing the words somewhere safe. Rosa watched her walk away down the street, the pot in her arms, the seeds in her pocket. Rosa thought about her father's words on the steps by the sea. Dreams are not free. She thought about the tin box under the bed, the aching hands, the late nights, the key placed on the table. She thought about her mother's warm hands on her face, a smell of bread baking. And she understood something completely now. Nothing worth having arrives without cost. But the cost is not punishment. The cost is the story. The cost is what makes the thing yours. Rosa turned back to her shop. The morning light was coming through the window. It fell across the flowers in gold and white. She took a breath. She picked up her apron, and she began another day. The end. Welcome to English with Amelia, where stories teach you English and stay with you long after they end. If you are not subscribed yet, please do it now. It is completely free. I hope Rosa's journey gave you something. Maybe it reminded you that the thing you want is possible. It just requires the price that only you can pay. Your time, your effort, your willingness to begin. Whatever your dream is right now, I want you to hear this. Start with what you have, even if it feels small. Even if the tin box is almost empty. Begin. If this story moved you, leave a comment below. Tell me what your dream is. Just one sentence. I read every single one. And share this story with one person today who needs to hear it. My name is Amelia. Thank you for learning with me. I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Goodbye for now.